Hey guys, it's Saga from TechWorks, and in today's video, we are going to compare the cameras on the Redmi Note 6 Pro with the ones on the Nokia 7 Plus. If you have watched my dedicated camera reviews of both these phones, you might know that they both have got an incredible set of cameras for their respective price range. Nokia 7 Plus is priced higher than the Redmi Note 6 Pro, and it also comes with a better processor which should help it process the images in better way. But the Note 6 Pro has also been performing really well when I compared it with the Poco F1, Mi A2, OnePlus 60 and even the iPhone XS Max in some of my recent videos. So this comparison is going to be an interesting one. On the Note 6 Pro, main camera has a 12 megapixel sensor with a wide f1.9 aperture and a large individual pixel size of 1.4 micron. Secondary camera has a 5 megapixel sensor with f2.2 aperture, and as in most of the budget smartphones, this sensor is only used for capturing the depth information for portrait shots. You cannot switch between these two lenses while taking images or shooting videos. At the moment, video capture on the Note 6 Pro is limited to 1080p at 30 fps, and these videos are electronically stabilized. Primary camera on the Nokia 7 Plus has a 12 megapixel sensor with f1.75 aperture and again a large individual pixel size of 1.4 micron. Secondary sensor has a 13 megapixel camera with f2.6 aperture, and this one gets a 2x telephoto lens. Both these cameras have Zeiss optics. There is no optical image stabilization on either of these cameras, and the phone uses gyro EIS to stabilize 1080p videos. On this phone, you can shoot 4K 30 fps videos, but you don't get any kind of stabilization at that resolution. On the Redmi Note 6 Pro, this time you are getting a dual camera setup at the front as well. Primary camera has a 20 megapixel sensor with f2.2 aperture, and the secondary camera has a 2 megapixel depth sensor with f2.2 aperture. On the Nokia 7 Plus, you get a 16 megapixel selfie camera with f2.2 aperture and a pixel size of 1 micron. This selfie camera on the Nokia 7 Plus is also equipped with Zeiss optics. Now before you get to the image and video samples from both these phones, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any of the amazing videos coming up on this channel. Both these phones have similar megapixel count and individual pixel size, so they capture similar amount of details in each of these shots. Nokia 7 Plus adds a bit of more sharpness to its images after they have been captured, so its images might appear to be a bit more detailed of the two. Colors and contrast are better in the images from the Redmi Note 6 Pro. And due to more contrast, there seems to be a bit more depth in its images, while some of the images from the Nokia 7 Plus appear to be a bit too flat. Images from the Nokia 7 Plus show warmer colors, whereas the ones from the Note 6 Pro show a lot cooler colors of the two. Both are not very accurate, and the actual colors of the scene were somewhere between these two in almost all of the shots. There is an AI scene detection mode on the Note 6 Pro. It is very inconsistent, and in many cases like these, it doesn't deliver good results. So to keep all of my images consistent, I just leave the AI mode turned off on the Note 6 Pro. On the Nokia 7 Plus, you can switch between these two lenses while taking images or videos. You can take 2x optically zoomed images like this. And since these images are optically zoomed, there are plenty of details in them. Although the Redmi Note 6 Pro also has a secondary lens, it won't allow you to switch to this lens for taking images or videos. I had set the HDR mode on auto on both these phones while capturing all these images. And with that, the Redmi Note 6 Pro shows a better dynamic range. There is a lot of noise in the shadows or darker parts of the images from the Note 6 Pro, but in those same areas, it is showing much more details compared to the Nokia 7 Plus. Just look at how much more details and colors are present in the images from the Note 6 Pro. 7 Plus is also doing a good job, but the Note 6 Pro is even better. Both of them are very good and accurate at focusing, which is important for taking close-up and macro shots like this. Again, there is more contrast and better dynamic range in close-up images from the Redmi Note 6 Pro. Nokia 7 Plus has a slightly wider aperture of f1.75 compared to the f1.9 on the Redmi Note 6 Pro, so the background in its close-up shots is blurred out a bit more. The difference is very small, and you will barely notice it unless you compare these images side by side. Coming to the portrait shots, both these phones have different way of handling them. Redmi Note 6 Pro uses the depth information from secondary lens, which also has a similar focal length. Nokia 7 Plus also uses depth information from the secondary sensor, but this one has a 2x telephoto lens, so the background in its portrait shots is much more compressed. Both of them are very good at detecting the edges and separating the subject from the background. I prefer portrait mode images from the Note 6 Pro. The main reason being, you don't need to be too far away from the subject, and it also captures better portrait mode images in lower light. Both phones also do a very good job while taking portrait mode images of objects. They are again good at separating the subject from the background. But I again prefer the images from Note 6 Pro cause you don't need to be too far away from the subject for taking these images. Now coming to the artificial and lower lighting conditions, we start seeing some differences in the images from both these phones. Nokia 7 Plus has a wider aperture, so its images are slightly brighter of the two. But at the same time, there is also more noise in some of its images. Whereas the image processing on the Redmi Note 6 Pro is doing a very good job of keeping that noise level down. There are more details in the images from the Nokia 7 Plus, and you can see that as we zoom in on this image. Overall colors and the exposure from bright lights in these situations is handled better in the images from the Redmi Note 6 Pro. Now that brings us to the front-facing cameras. The 16-megapixel selfie camera on the Nokia 7 Plus shoots slightly sharper images, while the selfies from the Note 6 Pro are a bit softer even with the beauty mode turned off. It also captures brighter images, and this time 7 Plus is showing more contrast in its selfies. Redmi Note 6 Pro has a secondary depth sensor at the front to help with portrait selfies. Both of them are good at taking portrait selfies, and they can accurately detect and separate the subject from the background. For the portrait selfies, Nokia 7 Plus is showing natural looking colors, while the images from the Note 6 Pro has a bit of green tint in them. Here's a video from the front facing camera of the Nokia 7 Plus and the Redmi Note 6 Pro. You can see how both these phones are handling the overall exposure in the background and colors of the scene, and also the overall stabilization when I am walking with these phones. This is a 1080p 30fps video sample from both these phones. Both offer electronic stabilization and the videos are fairly stable. Nokia 7 Plus can also shoot 4K 30fps videos, but these videos are not stabilized in any way. After looking at all these image and video samples, the decision to choose one of them is not very simple. Note 6 Pro shows better colors and dynamic range in well-lit conditions, while the Nokia 7 Plus takes better images in lower light. Note 6 Pro is also better at portrait shots in some lighting conditions, and given that it costs less than the Nokia 7 Plus, I think Redmi Note 6 Pro is the winner in this comparison. If you have the extra money and you want a phone with a better processor and stock Android operating system, then go with the Nokia 7 Plus. But if you want a phone with a good set of cameras and you don't have more than 15,000 rupees to spend, then the Redmi Note 6 Pro is the one for you. In either case, if you don't agree with my analysis of these images, I suggest you guys go back, watch the images again, but this time mute the video and watch it in the highest resolution that your device supports, and you can draw your own conclusions that way. And after doing that, whichever one you choose, do let me know about it in the comments. That is it for this video guys. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to the channel for more quality tech videos like this. You can also check out some of the other videos from this channel. This has been Sagar, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Take care.